let's just settle into a nice, comfortable meditation posture. And just remember, I mean, even though we're on Zoom, whatever energy is going on in your home right now could easily, because Mummy Max's mind is so sensitive right now, anything that's going on in your home could, you know, possibly, just be aware that it is a possibility, it could leak into her room. So if you have any distractions going on in your house right now, maybe if you could close them out. Take a nice deep breath and let's settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. Your feet about a hip's width apart. Shoulders aligned with the hips. And imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. Just imagine you're putting some space in between those vertebrae. And just lengthen. Go to the crown of the head and relax the scalp, the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the mouth, the jaw, back of the tongue. Relax the temples, the back of the head. Relax the neck. The shoulders, allow the shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat, the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. And just feel a softness coming into the body. Notice the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. Be aware of any sounds in your environment and allow those sounds to be there. Try not to follow with the mind. Really try and stay present this evening. This is what we're doing right now, is an extraordinary opportunity to practice for another person who might need us right now. So try and be really, really focused, really present, really grounded. And if you start to feel yourself floating off, really come back to either the belly, the breath, or your feet, whatever works. So just notice the thoughts that might be arising right now in the mind. Again, try not to follow them or judge them. Just allow those thoughts to be there. Be happy that you've seen them. And then let them go, release them, release those thoughts, particularly if they're related to the ego, the negative mind. And you can check they're not real, probably not based on fact. And then bring to mind all the people of our life, our really loved ones, so precious to us, and then our strangers, and then the ones we don't like so much. They can all change place at any time. And they're all equal in their wish to be happy and their wish to be free from suffering and having this extraordinary capacity for Buddhahood. So think they're We'll do this practice this evening for all these people of our life, and right now for Mummy Max, who's with us. And for all sentient beings. So we think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind. So equally, we can create positivity instead. So what does that positivity look like for you? How is it different from the other mind? Imagine how it would be if your mind was completely filled with virtue, completely filled with positive thoughts. Not these kind of creepy, crawly doubt thoughts that come in all the time. We can start with these four opponent powers, the first of which is the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. We cannot bear the thought of the future suffering that we ourselves will experience. And we know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we then come to the power of reliance. So we turn to this Buddha Vajrasattva. And we see him as a doctor who has the methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing the Buddha to forgive us, we're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine, his methods. So you can imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion, and has a beautiful radiant face. His eyes are long, peaceful, and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. And to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened by this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva. May I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So we have this other little section. It's a sort of a subsection of this section on reliance called compassion, developing compassion. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing a wish for them to be free from suffering. So think particularly of someone you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginning this time. So then remember those who have harmed you and have compassion for them because they're going to suffer as a result of the harm they've done to you. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings and think I must purify for their sake. And now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely, and it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Tita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimbiyatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So Lama Yeshe used to talk about turning on the tap of in a sink, when you're sort of filling a jar of, maybe, yogurt. You've had a yogurt in a jar, and you just fill that up with water to rinse it, and all the kind of gunk in the jar, all the bits and pieces, they float to the top of that jar and they overflow. And Lama Zopa Rinpoche would talk about, it's coming out quite forcefully from the upper parts of the body. So you imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hompe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarekta me boa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dita me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anarekta me boa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagawan. Sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified. And imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. And this includes yourself who will hear it. This includes what we put on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Threads, whatever else you do. And next is the purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. And so it's the same, you walk into a pitch black room and you flick on the switch, the light instantly dispels the darkness in the room. So imagine the moment the light hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all the attachment and neediness and anger, bitterness, grudges, jealousy, anxiety, depression, all of this is dispelled instantly as we recite the mantra. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hompe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hompe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe Bhadrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Bhadrasafa Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Situkaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe Bhadrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Bhadrasapa Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Situkaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe Bhadrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Bhadrasapa Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Situkaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Hum Te. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, and this is the cause of our own suffering and why we harm others with our body and our speech. Imagine they're totally purified, they're gone. And now there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the purification of these very, very subtle imprints of the body, speech, and mind of negativity. So imagine Vajrasattva very happily sends light and nectar. It fills you completely and eradicates even these very, very subtle imprints of this negative energy from the mind. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Hum Te. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve, and this is the final step in the purification process. And it's a really crucial one, is this determination to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. And without making such a decision, we're going to keep doing the same old things over and over again. So this determination, this aspiration to not harm becomes like a beacon that guides our body and speech and mind in new directions. So, Rinpoche used to talk about everything being on the tip of the wishes, the aspiration. So as we've been doing this week, and see if you can just catch these negative thoughts as they arise, this rumination, this, yes, but why is my mind like this? Where is all this resentment coming from? Where is this anger? Catch it as it arises and maybe challenge yourself. Is this really even real? Is it even valid? And sometimes our habit's so strong we can't stop it immediately, but we can catch it. And these kind of thoughts, these negative thoughts, these sort of ego-ridden thoughts, they're just a thief. They are stealing your life. So no more stealing your life. Your life is much more precious than that. Not giving your life away to some crazy old ego. And you have the power, you do have the power to counteract it. We just have to remember and acknowledge and realize that we actually have the power. So imagine Vajrasattva's delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. And Lama Yeshe used to call this union oneness. So next Rinpoche recommends to meditate in emptiness. In emptiness, there is no I, the creative negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a moment. You can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created doing this practice to all these living beings, particularly to our precious Mummy Max. And may all the virtuous karma I've created doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And so what I want to do now is do our long life dedications. And then after I've done that, before we all say our goodbyes, whoever is there with Mummy Max, could you please turn the video off? But just wait for us to dedicate, not just yet, for all the long life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and dedicate for the long lives of all our precious teachers. And very, very I'm not even sure how to say this, but Mummy Max, we love you. Thank you so very much for your service all these years. His Holiness loves you. Lama Zopa Rinpoche loves you. Lama Yeshe loves you. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Goodbye and lots of love. Okay, everyone. Those people there with Mummy Max, turn her off. Thank you so much. And goodbye, everybody. Have a nice weekend. Thank you so much for hosting and lots of love. And I will see you. Oh, tomorrow afternoon, we have Tara Puja. Yeah. So for those of you who want to come, please join 4 o'clock California time and 5 o'clock Mountain time and East Coast time 8 o'clock. Wow. Okay. No, 7 o'clock. Beg your pardon. All right. Lots of love, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.